This is me, Akash, here for Biology Vibes. So today we're going to start about the basics of this chapter, that's organisms and population. So let's start with discussing about the basic terms, that's ecology. So you are an organism, right? So you drink water, you breathe in air, you consume food, you react to temperature, you perceive light. So those are called the physical parameters. Okay, so those are called, say, the physical parameters. Now you are an organism, so you definitely interact with other organisms. They can be of the same species or they can be of the different species, but they are living, they are biological. Okay, so there's two areas which you are an organism and you are interacting with this physical surroundings and you are interacting with this biological surroundings. Okay, so what if I say that I'll study about the relationship between you and physical surroundings and you and biological surroundings? I'll study about like how you react to each other, how do you react to the biological components and how they react to you, how do you react to the physical and how they react to you. I'll study about this. So the branch of science which is dealing with this study, that's called ecology. So the definition says the branch of science which deals with the relationship between organisms and their physical and biological environment, that's called ecology. Now coming to discuss about the levels of organization. So the first thing is organism. Okay, so you are totally independent. You have your cells out there making up organ systems. You are complete as your own. So you are an organism. So this is the first level of organization. Now comes the second level, that's population. So you are there, your friends are there, your faculty members, your teachers, and all those people are there. You all belong to the same species, that's humans. Okay, so you all belongs to one species, that's human. So you are making up a population, that's the second level of organization. Individuals of the same species at a given place. Okay, so this is the second level of organization. Coming to the third one, that's community. So there are not only humans which are living around you. They can be dogs, they can be cats, their population, they can be insects around you. There, then there's their population is also there, second population two, population three. These all are living together and then they are definitely if they are living together, they are interacting with each other. So this is making up the third level of organization, that's community, followed by the fourth level of organization, that's called biomes. For example, take up deserts. So what happens in deserts? Like it is the area is classified under a specific thing. Whenever I say deserts, you just imagine that the temperature is high and the precipitation is low. So there's a specific climate out there. There's a specific climatic zone out there. And as per the climate, that's of temperature and pressure, various flora is being there and various fauna is being there. Flora, for example, have made several adaptations. Like the cactus, they have made some adaptations. Like fauna, various lizards out there have made some modification. So, and the area in which it's spread, it's large. So when a large area of specific flora and specific fauna and there's a specific climatic condition, this is like this makes up the fourth level. So starting with the organisms, population, communities, and the fourth one, that's biomes. These are the various level of organization in increasing order. So this is the basic, the most complex, that's biomes. Now coming to the environment, the definition is pretty straightforward and you know it since quite long. That's the sum of biotic, that all the living organisms, and abiotics, that's your physical surroundings that surround and influence each other. For example, you have certain impact on the surroundings and the surroundings have certain impact back on you. So surroundings and influence an organism in the survival and reproduction. That's called environment. Now the thing is, what impacts the environment? What creates the environment? What are the factors which are around you? So the first thing which comes into picture is they are affected by the rotation of the earth. The second thing is seasonal variation, and the third one is habitat. We'll go one by one discussing how they influence the environment. The first thing out there is rotation of the earth. So if you see this diagram, the earth is rotating and there are 24 hours, 12 hours day, typically 12 hours days and 12 hours night. Okay. So if you see, this is the daytime, this is the night time, the amount of insolation which is being received, the amount of sunlight which is being received by this section is there, and this is devoid of sunlight. So when sunlight is not there, it will definitely impact the amount of energy being received. Okay. So amount of energy is different. So temperature, there's something called temperature, that's different. So the behavioral patterns of the species will be defined by this rotation. Okay, so organisms environment changes, temperature changes, as per temperature pressure in this area changes, everything changes. So it's like the organisms also living out there, they adopt specific patterns. For example, they'll hunt during the day or they'll hunt during the night, they'll feed during the day or they'll feed during the night. So the rotation of the earth, this rotation is causing day and night, which in turn is affecting the environment. When the environment is being affected, the flora and the fauna is being affected. Okay, so this is what the first term says, that's the rotation of the earth is affecting its environment and the interaction which is happening between various components. Now the second thing is seasonal variations. Now you know that earth is tilted and its axis at around 66.5, this is 23.5. Okay, so it's tilted on its axis at 66.5 degree. So now what happens? There are seasons being built up. So I'll talk in reference to the northern hemisphere, north, that's your country, India, that's in the northern hemisphere. So we are in the northern hemisphere and Tropic of Cancer is passing by us. Okay, and if I talk about the southern hemisphere, let's take an example of Australia. Tropic of Capricorn is passing. Okay, and then there's an equator. Okay, so just see this. This is June and this is December. I'll talk in terms of North Pole. Sorry, the Northern Hemisphere. We have Tropic of Cancer. Insolation received by this area is more, and this Tropic of Capricorn is far away. So the temperature which is being here experienced here is much more. So we have in June. Summers in June, the Northern Hemisphere. On the opposite, in June, there's winters because this area is experiencing less and this area is experiencing more. Okay. On the opposite, when it comes to December, the Earth is like tilted around its axis at 66.5 degrees. So Tropic of Capricorn is more close to the sun. It will receive higher insolation. Okay. And Tropic of Capricorn is farther. So less sunlight, less temperature, we experience winters. On the contrary, the southern pole experiences your summer during the December time. Similarly, there's autumn and spring when the light falls directly perpendicular on the equator. So if you see that the seasonal variation has occurred because of the tilting of the axis at 66.5 degrees. So this is creating seasons. The seasons are being created, so the environment is affected as per the insolation received, the temperature and all the other factors like pressure and all are also a part of temperature. So this is a factor that affects the environment. This is the second one, that's the seasonal variation. Now this has created a lot of biomes. Biomes I've already discussed what biome is. So specific areas are characterized by their different temperatures, their different rainfall, and that's like rainfall is also a component of like temperature. The main thing which I want to say is insolation received by sun, then if it affects the temperature. When temperature is there, then rainfall pressure patterns will change, and when the pressure patterns will change, the rainfall patterns will also change. So each and every area is classified by a specific type of temperature, pressure, and rainfall, making up major biomes. And as per the environment, the flora and fauna of that area is affected. Let's take an example. There are major six biomes, and then there's written what's like the temperature and the rainfall, and according to your temperature and rainfall, the vegetation, specific type of vegetation is also there. For example, desert, it's hot, low precipitation, and then xerophytes, like the plants which consume a lot less water. Okay, they are adapted to conserve water. This is just an example. Then there's grassland, which is warm. The temperature is warm, around 20 to 30 degrees. There's seasonal droughts and medium amount of rain. Grasses are widely spaced. So as per this, this is affecting this, and this is further affecting this. Similarly, shrubs, you have conifers, you have tropical, you have tundra climate, varying in different areas. So this is a diagram I've taken from NCERT. You can easily be able to correlate now. Like there's a different amount of precipitation and there's different temperature. So if you see tropical forest, the amount of rainfall which it's receiving is pretty high, and the amount of temperature that also is like around 25 30, this much. So this with this graph you can easily able to correlate various biomes like the conifers. If you see the range, it's around from 50 to 250. This is the centimeter of rainfall it's experiencing, and the temperature it's experiencing is given on this y-axis. So with just a simple diagram, you'll be able to correlate what precipitation and temperature is out there in a specific type of biome, and as the biome changes, the flora and fauna out there also changes. So these are the three, the habitat also changes. Okay, so this was the third factor, that's called habitat. So we started with rotation of the earth, how it's impacting the environment. Then we moved on to how revolution causing that's a revolution around the sun. Tilting of the axis is causing seasonal variation. When seasons are changing, then temperature is changing. When temperature is changing, the pressure belts are changing. Pressure belts, so your rainfall patterns is changing. So first is rotation, second is revolution, like changing to the seasonal variations, and the third one is your habitat. Habitat is the natural surrounding in which an organism lives. So that's kind of it for this video, and I'll continue with discussing much more aspects of population and how it affects the environment and all. So that's kind of it for today. Thank you for listening.